Genshin has quite a lot of characters, and as of now in version 4.2, there is a grand total of 30 limited 5-star characters. I, Kalo Cum, am a free-to-play plus and have pulled only 9 of these characters. Some of the rest I will eventually get, but what are the characters that I will never pull for? Let's get into it. First up is Albedo. Now, I don't really have anything against the character himself. I do think he is quite great in terms of story and lore. The reason why I don't want him though is because of his gameplay. He has nothing too crazy going on for him, so I'm not really intrigued at all. He also doesn't seem fun, so I won't bother. Like I said, he is pretty good story-wise. I did like him back in the Dragonspine event. He does seem a great character, great voice actor, and just has a great backstory. But I am one of those who haven't fallen head over heels for him, so I'll never pull him. Next up is Baizhu. He was a character that we've known about for a while, and hasn't been playable for a while. But some people were really hyped to hear that he was going to be playable back in version 3.6. I, however, wasn't hyped whatsoever. Baizhu hasn't really seemed interesting to me at all ever since we met him, but what does he do as a playable character? Maybe that can be good? Baizhu is a support character who can heal and shield, which makes sense because of who Baizhu actually is. For my account though, I don't need a healing or shielding character, at least to Baiju's degree. The only thing I see value in Baizhu is that he is Dendro. Dendro is one of the best elements in the whole game. Story-wise though, I don't really know much about him other than he is a doctor. Drip-wise, I think he could do better. His fit is mid, to be honest. I'm sorry. In hindsight, I guess I just don't really like Baizhu at all. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think he is a bad character. Baizhu is actually quite good. He's just not for me. Moving on to Arataki Ito. This might come to a surprise, but let me explain. Firstly, I don't dislike him as a character. I quite like him actually. He's a funny guy, has a great voice actor, and a great personality overall. He's also quite strong when it comes to gameplay. He can hit like a truck for sure. But with all these good things in mind, why won't I ever pull him? Well, he's one of those characters. Now, what I mean by that is he's a great character overall, but I just don't see myself using him. I'm sure some can understand what I mean. He really is a great character, but I suppose since I'm just not too crazy for him, I don't want to bother pulling, and I just rather pull someone else. I don't know if this is really a valid reason to not pull him, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I don't really want to pull him. Moving on, next character I will never pull is Klee. Now hopefully this doesn't offend some of you, but I'm not really too much of a fan. I'm the kind of person that likes the more badass type characters like Raiden Shogun and Zhongli. Maybe I set the bar too high there mentioning those characters, but Klee just isn't that cool in my opinion. She can be a decent pyro DPS, but other than that, she just doesn't provide much like other characters do. She isn't bad in story terms. I do think she can be entertaining, has some decent lore about her. Overall, I don't hate her. Just another character I don't see myself pulling ever. For the next character, it's Cyno. I do think Cyno is cool. I really do. I also happen to like the voice actor quite a bit. He's a Chad. Cyno can be strong, just not as strong as other characters, so I don't really see myself getting him since I have stronger characters like Raiden Shogun. She just is so much better in every way. The only way for me to be convinced to pull Cyno is if I liked him just a bit more, but I don't, so I'll have to pass. Next character is Hu Tao. This character is liked by many and used by many. I personally don't like her as much as those people, but I can understand why people do enjoy her. Her personality is quite great, and she also is very strong. Hu Tao is one of the hardest hitting characters in the game, especially if you have it set up right. With that being said, I don't want Hu Tao. In a perfect world, If I did have Hu Tao, I definitely wouldn't mind, but I can live without her. If only I was a hardcore Hu Tao fan, I would of course pull her, but I'm not, so I'd just rather save my Primo Gems for somebody else. Next character is Linny. Before Fontaine came out, we only had trailers to show. Linny was one of the characters in those trailers, but he didn't seem interesting to me. But after Fontaine came out, I played through it, and my opinion changed. I think Linny is actually a great character. He has a good story and good personality. Gameplay wise is meh. He's a bow character. And a lot of bow characters revolve around charge attacking, which is straight boring. I'm not really a fan of bow characters most of the time, but you know, Linny happens to be that kind of bow character where he revolves around charge attacking the entire time. I mean, not exactly the entire time, but that's where most of his damage comes from. I honestly would pull him if he was something other than a bow. Seriously. Him being a bow user is pretty much the only reason why I won't pull. Other than that, I think he's great. Next is Venti. He is also a bow user, but doesn't really do the charge attacking thing. Instead, he is one who sucks. Not that kind of sucks. He's a grouper. You know, he sucks the enemies real good. Really good, in fact. But I don't need it. I mean, like, maybe I do, but I don't think I'll need him. I would rather have Kazuha, who can also group and suck them in. And Kazuha also just provides good buffs as well with that EM and, you know, can really help your damage. Venti, on the other hand, can't really do that. And yes, you did hear that right. I don't have Kazuha. Don't make fun of me. But Venti, he just isn't too interesting to me. I don't hate him. I think he's fine. But out of all the Archons, I don't really like Venti too much. So I'll pass. For the last character on the list, Wriothesley. Pretty much the same reason as Ito. I think he's a great character overall. His personality is good, his gameplay is good, and he can also hit like a truck. Again, one of the characters I just don't see myself pulling just because I'm not too crazy over him. With that comes the end of the video. Those are all the characters I won't pull. The list will most likely grow. Overall, I don't hate any of these characters. It's only that I don't enjoy them as much as others enjoy them. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any character that you won't ever pull? I'm really interested in seeing what you guys have to say. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and of course,
How about you subscribe to Kilo and come back for the next video? スイカ割りは平凡だってドキドキする飛び込め海の色を変えろ忘れたくない青になるそうだラムネの味何回なんだ生きてくように二人